Legal loopholes. Credit repair tactics exposed. Remove accurate negative information. Boost your credit scores in as little as 72 hours. Establish credit fast and easy. Laws to stop creditors fast in their tracks. Secrets to credit bureaus don't want you to know. Remedy identity theft in 4 days. Recession-proof tactics for today's economy. By Charles Dixon. Disclaimer. This book is sold with the understanding that the author or publisher is not engaged in rendering legal, accounting, or professional services. The author, publishers, and distributors specifically disclaim any liability, risk, personal loss, or otherwise incurred as a consequence, directly or indirectly, of any information presented in this work. If legal advice or expert assistance is required, the services of competent, certified, licensed professionals should be sought. The information and opinions provided herein are not guaranteed to produce any particular result. This information was gathered from many sources believed to be believable, but cannot be guaranteed as they apply to any particular individual. The addresses, telephone numbers, internet addresses, and other information were accurate at the time of publication. Neither the author nor the publisher assumes any responsibility for any errors or changes after publication or third-party websites referred to or their content. This publication is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information in regard to the subject matter covered. Introduction. Credit makes the world go round. Dating from the temples and Babylonia, who extended credit from their treasuries as early as 2000 BC, and through the years of the Roman Empire, who had a very developed banking system, purchasing mortgages and extending lines of credit to its early citizens. The creation of the Federal Reserve System in 1913 greatly enhanced the operation and role of credit. Retail installment loans began in the United States in the 19th century, and 30-year mortgages were first introduced in 1930s. In 1958, American Express introduced its first charge card, and within 3 months had over 500,000 cardholders. U.S. essayist and journalist Edward Bellamy stated, "An American Express card is just as good as American Gold used to be." Today, there are over 600 million credit cards in use in the United States, and 1 out of every 3 consumers' purchases is made with a credit card. We are living in a society that is very credit conscious. If you want to rent a car, lease an apartment, book a flight, reserve a hotel room, apply for employment, or even enter a cell phone contract, you run the risk of your credit being pulled. Insurance companies now evaluate your credit, as you can be subjected to higher premiums if you have a low credit score. Interestingly, even DirecTV charges more based on credit scores. In addition, some utility companies require deposits in advance for those with bad credit. It is almost impossible to function in this day and time without good credit. French novelist, poet, and critic Anatole France stated, "It is only the poor who pay cash, and that not from virtue, but because they are refused credit." Some of the analysts have compared the times we are living in to the Great Depression of the 1930s. Job losses are at the insurmountable high, foreclosures and skyrocketing on a daily basis, and the American economy is in crisis. In the aftermath of the Great Recession, we have fallen victim to predatory lending adjustable rate mortgages that are likely being on a roller coaster that are like being on a roller coaster ride, subprime lending scams, high unemployment, and high interest credit card debts that are spiraling out of control, all of which have left the indelible impression on our creditworthiness. Annually, 19 million Americans turn to payday loans as a result of poor credit. The average interest rate of these loans is over 400%, 30 times as much interest as a traditional loan, and twice as much as a loan shark charges. The average amount owed on automobile loans is about 700 billion. Credit cards average 800 billion, and student loans exceed 1 trillion. Debt has become a way of life and huge problem. Even our federal government is trillions of dollars in debt. Many of the large banks and automotive makers have had to receive federal bailouts. The average consumer has 13 credit obligations, 9 of which are credit cards. In light of all these calamities, lenders have enacted tougher, more stringent lending policies, making it harder to obtain loans. In the wake of the Great Recession, the Credit Repair Guide was created for those whose creditworthiness may have been negatively impacted or adversely affected by whatever unforeseeable circumstances life may have dealt. By applying some of the quick and easy methods, legal loopholes, and the professionals use, and a history of timely payments, you can quickly be on your way from stellar to stellar credit. This credit repair guide was created for those with no credit, poor credit rating, 300 to 619, fair credit rating, 620 to 659, and good credit rating, 660 to 749, but would like to quickly boost their credit scores to an excellent credit rating, 750 to 850. The economy we are currently living in is making it even harder for those with just good credit to be approved for loans. With good or excellent credit rating, you can now take advantage of some of the lowest interest rates in history. Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke announced that he would keep the interest rates low through 2014. I recently filed a civil lawsuit approached myself with an attorney in the preliminary stages of the action. I mailed the opposing defense attorney arguments stating the legal validity of my claims. In addition, I informed him that I would be willing to settle my claims and draft a motion to dismiss my suit only if he responded within 10 days. A few days later, I received a letter stating, "Let's cut right to the chase. What is your settlement offer?" I promptly responded with my offer, and the case was settled for an undisclosed amount of money. I told you this story because I appreciate and respected the fact of how the opposing attorney did not attempt to beat around the bush or play games. He was very frank and upfront, and he cut right to the chase. To the contrary, many credit consultants and authors on credit repair tend to play games and string along readers while promising to fix everything but the kitchen sink. I've read countless books that claim to possess credit secrets, only to find out that if there was a secret, the author surely was not revealing it. While these authors seem to promise you the world, they do not provide the necessary information to produce any results. In lieu of countless books I've read on the subject of credit repair and the disappointments I've had in many of those authors for providing outdated misinformation, I have compromised this work to be straightforward, to the point, highly effective, and incredibly accurate at the time of this printing. Let's cut right to the chase. I have been intrigued with credit since I was a teenager. At the age of 18, I applied for and received my first credit card, which was an American Express charge card. I have since read every article and book I could possibly find or obtain on the subject of credit. Several years ago, I started a credit repair company, White Out Credit Repair Company, with the premise that I would help people white out negative information from their credit reports.